Hi, I'm Ryan Shackelford, creative game designer at S2 Games.
Let's start by talking about what your goals were heading into Strife.
So one thing when we were thinking about creating a new MOBA, we wanted to take some of the problems that you see a lot of times with MOBAs, the toxicity you see with your teammates, what it means to play support. We wanted to redefine that a bit, and in general just make the experience a bit more intuitive and exciting.
Can you talk a little about specifically the gameplay and how you guys are doing that?
Yeah, so when it comes to toxicity, one of the things we really wanted to do was make it so that you're always playing with your teammates and you're never competing against your teammates. So the primary way we've achieved that is in most MOBAs nowadays, when you're in the laning phase of the game, you got your heroes with you, you've got your creeps with you, and you obtain gold by getting your last hit on the creep. Now, typically, the gold is awarded just to the person who gets the last hit. So one thing that creates is scenarios where typically you give all the gold to one lane mate, and then the other hero is basically relegated to harassing the other heroes, and they really don't get much gold. And they usually end up just not really progressing much throughout the game because of that. So one thing we wanted to really do was give the gold to both characters. So we have a system in place where the gold is split and everyone gets to progress in the laning phase. So that's one of the mechanics that really makes Strife stand out in that respect. Another thing that really makes Strife unique is we really didn't want to relegate any one player to buying wards, for example. So most of these games, you have your support player spending most of their money on wards to grant map vision. So we actually ended up completely getting rid of the entire ward system. Instead, we have observation posts throughout the map, which are just activated by walking past and grant your team vision for a period of time. So you kind of dynamically activate these throughout the map as you need them, and no one person is really required to uphold this task by themselves. It's kind of a team effort.
Can you talk about the role the couriers play and how you've done that to balance gameplay?
Yeah, so couriers kind of relate to, one of the things we were trying to do with Strife is we really want the gameplay to be fast-paced and active. So that kind of lends itself to a lot of different mechanics. One of those happens to be couriers. So we don't want people to have to spend lots of time going back to base and coming to buy items. But at the same time, some MOBAs, the mechanic for getting items can be a bit cumbersome, controlling a separate courier to bring yourself items. So we really want to simplify that. So we actually have a automated courier where you just buy your items away from home, while you're in your lane. It's very simple. And then you just hit one button, it takes all your stuff, it automatically combines them if you have a completed item, and it brings them to you. So that really makes that a lot easier. We have a couple other mechanics that really make the gameplay a lot more active. For example, most of these games have some sort of primary boss mechanic that really rewards the team for getting map control. So because we want the games to not drag on, we really want them to be active, we decided to go with what's called Krytos. So the way Krytos works is the team that kills Sindara, who guards Krytos, unlocks Krytos for that team. And he's basically this big, huge ape guy that spawns in a lane and then pushes down the lane for your team. And basically he disables towers and kind of provides a big tanky presence for your team. And what this does is, compared to other games where maybe you get a team buff or a special item for one of your characters, it creates a moment where your team really has to capitalize on it and stay active, instead of just kind of sitting back and utilizing that buff or that item to kind of farm the map and increase their advantage. And basically, we're forced them to basically seize the moment, and it creates a really high action moment.